Well, hey everyone, welcome to our second series that we're doing on this podcast here at TCS. Just so you guys know, we have a number of conversations that are sometimes very unique, to say the least. Sometimes they're a little bit maybe inappropriate, but they're fun. And we're calling this series that we're doing today here Off the Wall conversations. So I'm going to introduce our guest today. My name is Jeff, first and foremost. I'm one of our pastors here. But then you have over here, we have Mr. Chase Crampton.
Chase, I'm a freshman here.
You're a freshman here.
And no, sophomore now, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
okay, good. He's making sure. And I want to say this, we have Tyler over here as well, so we'll get him in here. And I just want to say this real quick. I've never been in a conversation with two redheads, so this is fun. This is fun.
Dangerous.
So hopefully to make
just
anyone
set a record in his life.
Yeah.
Right. Really, I've never done this before. But so Tyler, I interrupted, but I apologize.
That's fine. I'm Tyler. I'm the video arts pastor of the Crossing here,
There you go.
I lead out what used to be 7th, now will be 8th grade.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. Wherever Rob tells me to go, that's where I go. So I'm just trying out TCS, and I love it here.
Okay, all right. And last but not least, welcome. I don't even know. I want to go there, but I'm not. I missed not. Welcome, Miss Frances Rochester. Do you have anything
What's
to say?
up?
Anything
No,
to
I
add?
have nothing to say.
You
Still the newest and coolest member of the student team.
Okay. In some ways, yes.
Always.
Newest.
Always newest.
Okay.
Who's
all
newer
right.
than me?
Anyways, shall we get to it though?
And who's cooler than me? Not you.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Okay, here we
we're
go.
still
There it
there.
is.
We're
Yeah.
still doing
Throwing
this,
the
but it's
gauntlet
okay.
down.
It's
We
okay.
are 1 minute.
So, like I said, we're doing a series right now called Off the Wall. On our first, really in our first episode, what we're going to discuss here is something we call AI.
Yep.
Artificial intelligence. And so I don't even know really, I guess, where to start, but I guess I'll say this. Has anybody ever seen the movie Terminator or the Terminator, maybe, what was that one, Minority Report?
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope.
Ever heard of him?
I've heard of Terminator.
Do you know the star in the movie?
Isn't it? Wait.
You can redeem yourself.
Hang on.
Come on.
Wait, I do know it. I've heard it before.
He's Austrian, if that helps.
It's what?
Oh my God.
He was a senator at one point as well.
Yep. McCallie.
Oh, governor. He was a governor.
Governator.
Governor. I apologize.
Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There we
Okay,
go.
yeah,
Okay.
it was on the tip.
Okay.
It was on the
All
tip.
right.
I'll give you credit.
Okay, so Tyler, you've seen it?
Love that franchise, actually.
Okay, the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, Terminator 2 is probably the best of its year, or at least in its class.
Okay.
And all the other ones kind of suck, but I like it.
Okay, the whole Sarah
I like the
Connor.
whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about that in regards to artificial intelligence? What about that did you like?
Okay, so we're gonna nerd out for any movie, and I
are.
know
We really are.
I know my universes. So Terminator is, for those who haven't seen it, Chase. There's this AI that was invented by man that's created and to be known as Skynet.
Okay.
And
I don't even know this, but I guess.
it becomes so sentient that it creates a war with humans. Now, there's debate. I'm sure they unpack it in one of the 9 films or however many they have.
Probably too many, yes.
And there was also a series. But the idea is they get out of hand, and so the cool thing is in Terminator 2, they send a good robot back to protect the guy who could potentially save humanity. Because
the artificial intelligence has essentially taken over.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
And that's the fear that's prevalent, and probably it's never felt more real than today.
Okay, all right. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there because I do think we'll get there.
Yeah.
But Fran, Terminator, Minority Report, any other AI movie that you can think of?
It's been a while since I've seen Terminator, but when I think of AI, I think of Star Wars and all of...
Okay, now why?
Yes.
I don't know. So how does that work?
There's no AI in that.
There's not...
All of the droids?
Is
that not
droids?
AI?
I thought it was just special effects.
That's what I was
they're
thinking.
definitely droids.
They're like remote controlled.
Special effects.
C-3PO,
What's a C-3PO?
IG BattleBot.
Chris Paul III. I know that. I don't know.
BB-8.
What are you saying?
Yes.
Oh,
Have you
actually,
seen Mandalorian?
no, I think she does have a little bit of a valid point.
That's
No.
not AI.
100%.
I don't think it's AI.
You're wrong.
No.
Okay.
No.
I wouldn't
I'm
say it's
right.
AI. I would say
Yes.
it's more like its own brain, like its own thing.
Okay, so
Yes.
can we unpack the definition of
please.
AI?
Please, if
Okay,
you could,
so
right.
the Turing test. Have you heard of the Turing
No,
test?
No.
not at all.
So there was a scientist way back in the 50s, I want to say. I think his name was Alexander Turing, and homeboy was like, okay, if I put a guy in one room and I interview 2 candidates, and one of them's a human being and the other one is a computer, and I can't tell as the interviewer because I don't see them, I want to know how real are they? And if I can't tell that either of them are a computer, then the computer has passed the Turing test. So that means that it's sentient, it has feelings, it has thoughts, it has aspirations, it has self-preservation. C-3PO, R2-D2, BB-8, these are not like they don't have philosophical
but
debates
AI,
with themselves.
I didn't realize AI could have feelings.
I think that's the level that we can get to.
So I don't know a lot about AI. I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about AI. I don't even care about AI, if I'm being honest. But my understanding is these things can develop them. I mean, in Terminator, did they always have feelings?
No.
Okay,
they're mission centric.
Droids, that's it. Could eventually potentially develop that.
I'll concede. I think you're still wrong, but maybe if we get to Star Wars 30, then yes.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I just don't think it's accurate. That's like saying like I don't know. What's another one? How about what's the other one? Not Star Wars,
Trek?
but
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Is that AI?
Okay, here's a question.
Okay.
I was at Indian Bistro on Friday, and they had a robotic waiter.
Okay,
that rolled up out of
Denny's,
the kitchen.
Denny's has it too.
And
Okay.
served the customers. Is that AI?
Yes.
So why isn't
The robot's
a droid?
AI. Yes.
No.
No,
Wait,
that would
wait a
just be a
second.
robot that's programmed
That's AI.
to do that.
Is it artificial intelligence?
No. What?
Oh gosh, this is too confusing.
No, so AI would be like it's what it is it's known as more of like a language model. It's learning on a program set of data.
Okay.
I guess there would be some level of AI in that where it's because it's the speech recognition and whatnot, understanding what the customers want.
Okay.
I haven't been to Denny's, so I don't know exactly what it does. But otherwise, it would, to my knowledge, it would just be programmed to go to the table, get the order, come back, get the food, go there.
Okay, so I don't know if one of you then, based off your explanation, give me an example. I think I have one of AI versus a robot.
A robot is engineered if this, then that.
Correct.
Okay.
Whereas AI says, well, what if there's something that doesn't happen within these set parameters that I can also do? Like the movie Artificial Intelligence or Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams. Like he's programmed to be a robot, but that's just a servant helper or whatever. But over the course of time, he starts dreaming. He starts having thoughts and desires.
Okay. But then by definition, from what I've understood though, Alexa, Siri are considered AI.
Are they?
I think.
Yeah, legitimately.
My Alexa has feelings.
Well,
Does it say that it has feelings?
no, but if you were to if you were to ask Siri a question or ask like Siri to to do something, it would just actually, I think it just does it, correct? If you just do it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
from my understanding, again, from the little research that I've done, those things are still all considered artificial intelligence.
Are they?
So if you tell Chopper to go send a message and he does it, then he's responding to your request. So then, therefore, droids are AI.
Whoa, no, I'm lost. Okay, hold on, pause. What's a chopper?
Chopper is a character in a Star Wars animated show.
Okay, yeah, I watched
You just
that.
out-nerded me.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I didn't know
I don't know what that
possible.
means. So,
Rebels?
Rebels? Well, okay, I don't know what you're
Not seeing
saying.
it.
But it's okay. Here's what I was asking you guys. I mean, Fran, starting with you since you seem to have all the stuff with whatever you're saying here. Any pros? Like, what do you see as like these are great things when it comes to AI?
I feel like it definitely helps make our lives easier.
Okay.
I think
Efficiency?
it's a shortcut to a lot that we're doing, helps us work more efficiently.
Okay.
And with less error, hopefully. I
Okay.
think that's what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
So save us time.
Process is perfected kind of stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Chase?
I think mostly what Fran said, it's really just making things faster for us to do. Like,
Okay.
Because you can just type, what is so and so, or write me so and so, and it does it.
Okay. But never mind. I won't get there. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I will
Tyler?
say it makes my job infinitely easier. I use AI models when it comes to editing video at least once a week on average.
Okay.
There's one that Adobe has. It makes good audio better and bad audio good, and then they have this new thing called something. It allows you autopod, and I think it'll if you record something like this with multiple cameras but multiple microphones, you can assign them, and then it'll just cut it for you.
Okay.
In a matter of minutes, that would literally take you probably an hour and a half if you were to do it manually.
Okay. All right. Now, when you think about that, I'm gonna go the cons now.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious when you
Talk
say
about cons a lot.
it makes it makes you're saying it makes things easier.
It can.
But would you could make things easier, but I would argue it makes us very lazy.
Yes, 100%. And I think it can also, another issue is it can introduce bias and whatnot. Since they're programmed, like you can ask it to do stuff and it'll say, I'm like programmed to not say stuff about that.
Okay.
But then there's obviously workarounds and whatnot as well,
Okay.
which can lead to some big issues.
Okay. Well, clearly.
Yeah.
What are some cons?
I think it can eliminate a lot of jobs. I know my fellow coworker Trayvon. He was editing a podcast from our last series, and he had the AI edit it for him. So what do we need him for? Like
to put it into the AI.
Oh, he has to put it into the
Someone
AI.
has to do it.
So,
Are you going to do it? Do you know how to do it?
No, I
Well,
don't
then
know
that's
how
why
to
we
do it.
need
There we go.
Trayvon.
That's why we need
But job
Trayvon.
loss is real though. That is a thing.
It is.
Job loss, and then I'm thinking back to like 2003 when I was living in Michigan. We had a blackout that was like no other. It was like 5 days long. It was ridiculous. What happens when all the power goes out and you can no longer operate those things, and now you're dependent on them to get the job done, and
Yeah.
it can't be done.
I think AI models still need to be not only utilized by people who are paid, like ChatGPT. We haven't even unpacked yet that, but someone has to put in a good prompt before it can give you a good result. And the same thing is true for just running ChatGPT. That's not like a bunch of machines making sure that it works and that the right things happen. And there's someone, like a physical human being, making sure that the coding and the programming is accurate and working and reliable and efficient. All those
Well,
things.
since you're there, we'll come back to the
Sure.
cons but I want to. I heard on the radio it was a 94.1 Mercedes and whatever what's the guy's name?
Mark and Mercedes in the morning.
Mercedes in the
someone,
morning,
Yes,
yeah.
okay. Whether I don't know who he is, but okay. There was someone who was literally, I don't know if it's called catfishing or whatnot. They were using chat. Is it GPT or
GPT.
GPT, which stands for?
Generative Pre-trained Transformer.
Oh, correct. Okay, that's just too much. So GPT is great. Holy Lord, GPT.
GPT.
Was doing this and having a conversation. This is how they use their dating. There was on a dating app, and so everything they said was through GPT.
That's
Wrong
creepy.
or right?
Wrong.
But why?
Because it's not
creepy.
you.
It's not.
So
Right, yeah.
I mean, in that instance, you're kind of selling yourself in your dating
Okay.
world. You're not selling yourself at that point.
Right.
To the best of its ability, ChatGPT is trying to sell you for you.
But if you're saying the artificial intelligence is designed to be a reflection of the question that you're asking, it's not giving the responses that you've technically could have given, but you
Right.
just maybe didn't know how to quote unquote formulate them. So now, does that really take away from you? Does it really take away from who you are?
I
Because
think-
they would argue, again, is it wrong? I mean, is it okay? I don't know. I don't really think so. But if we're saying the AI can do that, and that's a reflection of quote unquote.
I think it's equivalent to catfishing, sure, because you're not selling yourself. You're not selling your thoughts. You're just copying and pasting what a computer is
And
giving.
who
you.
would want to be with someone that can't take the time to actually formulate
I
their
know.
own messages?
Yeah.
Like
Those
they
are
need
such
an app
softball
to do
questions.
it for them.
Do you
Oh.
like baseball?
That's-
I don't know. What do you say,
Hold on.
ChatGPT? Like, come on.
Oh gosh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm so-
Watch yourself.
Did
I'm
I-
not gonna.
Watch yourself.
Did I almost unbox
watch yourself.
Pandora there?
Well, okay, never mind. I'm not going to go there. But I think that what are you guys going to say?
I always want to know.
What are you guys going to say?
I want to know.
Just ask. What are you going to what? What do you think it was?
What were you gonna say?
What do you think I was going to say?
One time you said it was astounding
That what?
that my husband married me.
Oh boy, no.
So
Okay.
maybe if I had the chat.
No, I would say in that case, I think you probably would have used it, and that's how you found him. Correct?
I did use it. Yep.
Okay.
You're right.
Got it. Like that's.
Catfished him.
Kidding.
I wouldn't
I'm
have been
kidding.
able to do it by myself.
I'm kidding.
It's okay.
I'm kidding. Oh my gosh. But I guess my point is though, I don't quite grasp how far does it go then? Because I think that's one of the cons is that once this is now introduced fully, how far does it go and where does the line get drawn? Because this is where I think, in my own, the way my brain works, we can keep introducing things into society, introduce things into the culture. I mean, there's a number of things that we've tried, and it keeps going off the rails because there's always some idiot who tries to take advantage of it or try to abuse it. And all of a sudden, we're already seeing it. Once things start getting abused, we tolerate it more and more, and then the line keeps being pushed further and further. And so this is where I'm completely against it, even though it is a good thing. On some level, I know for a fact it's going to be abused.
Yeah, I suppose it can, but it's a tool. So this, like the second we created knives or guns or whatever,
okay,
they're dangerous, potentially bad things, but they're potentially life-saving things.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, they're just tools.
Okay.
I think the same thing can be said with AI. It could be the demise of the human race, but it could also be the starting point for bringing us to the next level.
When you say demise, you mean like
world destruction as we know it.
No.
If you've seen Terminator, that's what happens, bro.
But no.
Yes.
If you've seen a battle bot.
If you
But you would go that far. You think that's how far?
I think it could, yeah, like or War Games with Matthew Broderick.
No, I haven't seen that one. No.
You've never seen it?
No.
So the idea is he trains a computer to play chess, and then they said, what if we played it with this game called War Games? You didn't know it at the beginning of the film, but I'm spoiling it. You find out that it starts to set off nuclear missiles towards Russia and back and forth. And all of a sudden there's this whole like, oh my gosh, are we going to war? Because then Russia, who has nothing to do with that program, thinks that America is about to launch a ton of nukes.
Yep.
And so they're going to launch a ton of nukes.
Yep.
And then this war that technically never existed outside of this consciousness of this video game program can lead to a world of destruction. Okay. So it is possible, especially since AI as we know it is starting to grab resources and sources from online. It is so intermingled into the entire landscape of human knowledge. Yes, I could see it going there.
Okay, so
God forbid.
The rest of you guys, when you think about it, do you think pros and cons of if you putting it all together, would you keep it, if you will, AI, or would you say like we have to figure out ways for more checks and balances? Because in my opinion, even with the checks and balances, it's still going to get out of balance, and not for the. Mm-hmm.
There's
not
always
for the
a way around it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I say I would get rid of it. I don't use it. I don't need it. It makes Trayvon's life easier. It doesn't make my life easier. But one thing that holds me up with AI is that if we're using it to communicate with other people, like
yep.
Our very beings were designed to be in relation with others. So if we are taking that component out and we are using AI, I feel like that is not only can it lead to world destruction, but I feel like it can destroy us as people.
But watch me be pro AI. What if we treat it as a tool that it would enhance our involvement in relation to each other?
Could it? How would it do that?
Well, just what we're probably going to edit this podcast with, that will help.
Here's what I could say, how it would enhance our relation with other. It would make our jobs easier and afford us more time to have relationships with the people in our lives.
That matter, agreed.
But if we're using it to form relationships with people, that's where I see it being a problem.
I agree. Yeah. I think that's an issue. I think so far what we've been focusing on is things like ChatGPT, and a little bit with Autopod or whatever. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of other forms of AI as well, like you were saying, how it can make good audio or bad audio good.
Right.
Like with photo editing too, you can like replace things and whatnot.
Or generate now from scratch.
100%. It's crazy. So I think those things. I think those would be good. I think with all AI, it's good as long as it's used correctly. Okay. But a lot of people aren't.
Well, a few years ago, we were doing a series on like mental health and everything, and one of the things, if you guys have read the story of the Tower of Babel at all, Tower of Babel in Scripture, that God had pretty much told them to go and just go to a different land. They all landed after the flood, and they decided to stay. They decided to stay in this area, and because they stayed in that area, they started to outsmart themselves, if you will. Like they started, we're going to build this tower, we're going to reach the heavens, and they came up with this new method of building this tower up. And so you look at that, and because they had this new invention, this new way of doing things, they were like they were feeling themselves a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But because it was unchecked, it led to a lot of it was not a good thing, and God was very very upset with that. And so what I gathered from that story as a whole, I can't say it all in this just on this podcast alone, is that when tech is left unchecked, it leads to evil. And I think that's where I'm nervous and more concerned when I think about things like AI. But you look at things like like cell phones, you look at things like music, you look at things like socials. All these things are not evil in and of themselves, but there's always some idiot who just gets cute, and it takes one idiot to just start an entire the domino effect. And I think that's my concern with. We've now reached this AI point where it's becoming a real thing. So what do we do with that? Because I don't know how it aligns. I don't want to go crazy to be weird. Like biblically, when I look at that, what would God want of this? So if you were to put that in context, like take scripture, we take God's word. When it comes to this, where's his role in all of this? Or is this just another man-made thing that we're doing where he's just saying, you know what? If you think you're so intelligent, you guys go ahead and do your thing, and I'll continue to remove myself from this all.
I think God could use it. In this, whether we're talking about cars. I remember when we were talking about automated cars, automated driving, that there were a lot of people saying, "Well, Tesla. there goes all those taxi cab drivers and stuff. We need to fight this." And then they came out with the truck, not the Cybertruck, but the like actual semi truck from Tesla. Okay. And they're saying, "Well, there goes the the trucking and shipping industry." And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's fighting a bad thing or what. But I know that God can use any of these things because he has. I mean, the dawn of the internet. I can't tell you. It was mid. You probably remember this. It was before 2000 and the Y2K. Man, everyone was so scared that between the internet and everything that was happening, that the world was going to end in the year 2000, and it was because of our playing God, quote unquote, with internet and connectivity, and it was just too far. And I just don't know if that's necessarily true. I just think it's a tool.
You see it as that, and that's where you just like.
It can be bad. I agree.
Yep.
It could also be good, and I don't think God's like, well, I got to step out like he did with the Tower of Babel. I think he could say, the good people should use it for good, and the bad people, I can't. But.
Again, just to be fair, the Tower of Babel, they got so high, then all of a sudden God crumbled it,
right?
If you will. So that's he intervened. And
right.
I think he will and can do that in this regard as well. I guess where I just constantly come back to is how far is too far after a while, because it feels like we're always. I mean, science is good, and the beauty of like our inventions, the way God has wired us. I don't think this is like some sort of foreign concept. I think God has given a vision for this.
Right.
But I think on some level it's going to be abused. And how far does that abuse go before things that really shouldn't happen start to happen?
Absolutely.
So a question I'll have for you guys that Trevon asked us was, if AI can get to a certain point, what's the word?
Sentient.
What?
It's sentient or sentience.
Okay, great. So sentient enough, if you will.
Yep.
Can AI eventually achieve salvation? Can it be saved? Is that possible?
No.
That is a ridiculous question.
I don't think so.
Because if we can't save my dog, Theodore, we are not saving my robot vacuum.
Who says we can't save dogs?
You did.
Do dogs go to heaven?
You did, but that's a different conversation.
Okay, going back to that's not just putting words in my mouth right now.
Oh,
we'll get to that.
Okay,
So, but can it? And is that okay?
No. Did God give them souls?
Dude, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, scripturally, what defines a human being or someone that can be saved?
Don't ask me.
Because this isn't a trick question, but I think there is a scripture talking about how God molded us and created us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we are the ones, technically, even if there's processes removed, if we're the ones that are creating said sentient AI or robots or whatever, then according to scripture, they're not in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a thing, and I mean at all. And so if we're I would be shocked, but it wouldn't surprise me. Again, I know this is weird, and I may say something offensive, so I apologize. We already treat pets as babies, and they're not human beings. And so my nerve is that they're not, or babies.
Kind of
and so when you look at some of these robots or this AI do we begin to see them in the same way? So if the AI finally, like if my vacuum dies,
Funeral.
You have a funeral?
so like legitimately, is that? But I think again, we've gone so far off the rails with some of this stuff. That's like the fear that I.
Okay, let me ask this. Can a robot have rights, but not necessarily salvation?
Define rights.
Well, the same suffrage, the ability to vote, to own land.
Absolutely not.
If we destroy a robot, are we going to jail for murder?
Right.
Stop it.
Come on.
Not today.
Stop. No,
Are we?
But
First,
maybe.
That's
no.
good.
They have feelings, though.
They don't have. Okay.
You got to
I'm not
watch
getting mad.
Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams.
I hate this so much. Listen. No. Feelings for a robot? That's ridiculous. Number one, you can't have
This is
that.
opening up a
No,
whole can
it
of
is.
worms.
Number two, the idea. What did you say a minute ago as well? They came with that.
I don't remember.
Robots.
Jail. Going to jail and
am I
having
going to
rights.
jail?
Voting for a robot? Voting. What
That'd
did
be-
it do?
That'd be really bad because when you think about it, they are all programmed in with some level of bias.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's immediately shuts out what
No,
voting was
Self-preservation.
originated.
So, yeah,
I'm just
so-
saying,
no.
if a robot passed a Turing test,
But again, it goes back
You
to
might
what
change
we're.
your mind.
But it goes back to what we're saying. There is some level of where again we're going to take the intelligence so far where some people group or some like, who identify or whatever as we are robot people or whatnot, all of a sudden, legitimately like think this is a thing.
Right.
And where does the line get drawn? That's all I'm asking. Because that is salvation. Absolutely not. Rights? Are you kidding me? It's a machine. Turn it off. Turn it on. Call it a day. That's what it's there for. So, I'm not trying.
Very insensitive.
It's not sensitive. Why is
Very
it insensitive?
insensitive.
It's a machine. It's a
It has
machine.
feelings.
We can't argue. That's not fair. That's just not fair. I just don't. Yeah.
have you seen Bicentennial Man?
I have not.
I'm telling you, it will not change your mind, knowing you. But you should give it a shot, because then at least you might be able to empathize with those that I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I hope we never do.
Yes.
But I think it could happen.
But
I think it could happen in my lifetime.
But there's a connection piece where I'm saying human to human is far more. It's designed to be far more deeper as we connect one another than it is with a robot, with a machine.
You
And
don't know that.
Stop.
What if I told you I was a robot?
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Stop.
Go
Stop.
with me,
Listen,
Jeff.
Okay, I'm gonna go with you. Go ahead.
If I told you I was a robot and I pulled
Peeled
out
off.
something, would that change
Yes.
everything
Yes.
that you think
because I
or
would
feel
now see
about
it
me?
as a machine that I could just turn off. Absolutely, I would say I can ignore this fool because this is just a
How
robot.
Okay.
long have you known him?
That's
though?
fair. That's
But-
fair.
but-
What if it was your wife?
Ooh.
You find out
No, that's
she's
a
a
good
robot.
Ooh.
She said, "Nope,
Okay.
you're done. I
Okay.
don't like you. You're out of
Okay.
my life."
There's a certain level of care that would come with that, which is great. But still a robot. It's over. It's over. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying. It's over. At that
right.
point, it's over.
All
Because
right.
a robot, it's a robot. You can't. It's not fair. You can't like my kids. Again, if I found out my kids were robots, that would be different. That'd be unique. But I would care for them as a machine. But that's it. Goodbye. You're a robot.
Wait, what do you mean by goodbye? So you immediately shut them off?
No. But I'm saying like I would understand. It's like my dog. I love my dog, but I know once my dog is dead, it's over.
Right.
It's done. The
Right.
relationship is like it's now severed.
Right.
I will miss my dog,
Right.
but that's beyond it. My kids, I would miss my kids, but but to mourn a machine,
Right.
something's wrong.
Even if they were your kids.
It's a machine.
Okay.
I don't know. Again, if we're going scripturally based and everything, I think we should come back to.
I agree.
I don't know once where we see that there was the love of a machine, that where Jesus said he came to die for all machines and humanity. I don't see anything like that, where he even has, where it's even mentioned when it comes to things like this.
Agreed.
So therefore, in my head, like, well, again, not to get churchy, but I'm just saying it's a machine. Now, maybe cold-hearted. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I mean, what do you think?
I think you're crazy. I mean,
I'm-
there's that.
Wow.
And I think part of your reasoning is saying there was no love for machines. There weren't machines back then to love.
But they had stuff to love. Even if they weren't machines, they were still stuff. They still made buildings, still made temple. People loved the temple. Like when they built this thing out of stone for many years, had a love for it. But I don't know. Did people cry when it was demolished? Probably, but they got over it. You know why? Because it's just brick and mortar. It's stone. Goodbye. It's over. Moving forward. Like I don't know. Is that bad? Is that?
It's not bad.
Is it okay? I just feel.
It's not bad.
Okay, I'm
It's
just confused. I just feel
It's
like,
very cut and dry.
and I don't mean to be cut and dry. I'm just trying
It's
to
okay
like
to be
bring
cut and dry.
be logic into the situation here because this makes you have to like there's emotion, there's logic, and we've talked about this on some level. But
Right.
logically speaking, it's a machine. Machines are just machines.
Yeah.
No souls, no feelings.
Right.
And if you make it have feelings, it still doesn't have feelings.
Yeah.
Because it's just a machine.
Because it's artificial, yeah.
Yes.
They're not real feelings.
Okay.
That's all.
I have lots of other tangents we could go down maybe offline, but
Any other final comments, Fran?
I still don't care either way. I'm gonna keep doing me. Droids are AI.
Okay.
We can chat offline about that.
are you
because that's gonna be-
anti-AI?
I'm not anti-AI, but I'm not
You're definitely not pro.
pro AI. I don't.
I don't know. You feel pretty anti.
Yeah. You're like,
Then,
yeah.
then I will identify as anti-AI.
There we go.
That's fine.
There we go.
Yeah.
Take a stand.
But I think it's interesting. And I think, like with anything, it opens the door for good and bad, and what we do with it is up to us. And good people will do good, and bad people will do bad.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I won't be using it. I don't care.
But what if you don't even know you're using it, but you're using it?
Do you use
I
Siri?
do have a droid.
Siri's AI.
Okay, then yes, I use it. I use Siri and Alexa, and I do have a droid at home, which is definitely AI. I even put a personality in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait.
I don't believe.
Go back.
What?
Go back.
His name
Rewind
is
it 45 seconds.
FN1007.
45 seconds. You can't say that.
His name is FN.
You've named a weird
1007.
computer thing on your whatever, and you're saying you're
Yeah.
anti.
Well, I'm pro Star Wars, so I'm just,
Oh my god. So okay. We'll let it.
I don't use him for anything. He's just cute, you know. He's
Yeah,
just chilling.
fair.
He does have a personality, and he can get around the house.
All right.
So.
That sounds terrifying.
Okay. Okay. Enough said.
Yep.
Chase, do you have a vacuum? Over the iRobot vacuum?
Yeah, but it's broken. We haven't used it in a while.
I just bought one.
Oh, That's how you keep
okay.
them in check
Wait a minute.
before they rise up.
Wait a minute.
Now you have a comment. Okay.
I have a comment. I just bought one.
Okay.
I just bought a.
Is it a Roomba
robot.
or an
It's a
iRobot
shark.
or
It's a
shark? I have a
shark.
shark.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm super excited because I have a little cat, and so it's gonna vacuum up all the hair. So I guess I like AI when it's
It's so
convenient
awesome.
for me.
I know, right?
Well, yeah.
It's so bad, but it's
I like
vacuuming
Star
my
Wars.
floors.
I have a mini robot at home that I've named Pet Furry, whatever it's called. And then number 3, I don't know whatever you named it. And then number 3, I've got a cat that I don't like his hair. Or
So I have a robot vacuum.
Yeah, it's
yes.
cool. But I'm
So I
anti.
guess I am using AI more than I thought I would.
Interesting.
A little bit.
Okay.
However,
That's okay.
none of it is that intelligent.
Yeah.
So
It's
if
very
you
then.
think about AI and where it can go, everything's very basic on my level.
Okay. So you just keep it there. Okay.
Yep.
Chase, anything for you? Final comments?
I think overall, I'm like, in general, I would say I'm fairly pro AI.
Okay.
Because I use it pretty often, so I'd say.
He'll stand on it too, Fran.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just kidding. Okay. Anyway. Tyler, any final comments for you?
There's a joke that I love AI and I would never want to upset our future overlords.
With that being said, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us on our first episode of Off the Wall podcast. Our next one, we're going to talk superheroes and villains. So, you guys big superhero people at all?
Yes.
Marvel.
Some of you guys Marvel all? Okay, well, you can
Marvel's
join
the
us.
best.
Well, you won't be here next time.
I won't
But
be
anyway,
here,
it's
but-
okay. Make sure you guys check it out. Thanks for joining us again. If you have any questions or comments, you know where to find us. We'll see you next time.